Good evening, afternoon, whatever time it gets on here. I'm never really sure when we'll get around to putting the videos on, so I guess I ought to say what's up instead of good evening. It's been a fun, interesting day. Full and busy. I didn't even realize time had passed by. I went from one class to the next and just in and out, and before I knew it, they were calling the kids to go home, and I'm like, the day's over with already. Sometimes days do that. And then there's days when it doesn't feel like the day is ever going to get over with. I really felt this morning, as tired as I was when I got up, that it wouldn't be one of those days. I got up, I was stiff and sore. I'm like, man, whew, Lord, I'm tired. It's getting to where it's thinking, body's telling me, slow down a little bit. Doing too much. And I'm like, nah, didn't do much. And I think sometimes, it takes us a little longer to bounce back when the older we get. And it seems like each year it takes me a little bit longer to bounce back from activities to activities. I think sometimes that's our body saying, you know what? You're older now. You should be wiser on how to do these things. They say with wisdom, we gain wisdom and knowledge. Yeah. The Bible tells us anyone seeks wisdom, let them seek from God, because He's the one who gives us wisdom. So I found myself today going, Lord, what in the world will I do? There's days when I feel like I don't pray enough. I don't think about God enough. I feel like I've got so much other stuff on my plate that I don't stop and take enough time to be with God. In the last few days, I feel that way. I feel like, I don't think I even hardly spend any time with God. And I can feel it because everything seems to be chaotic to me right now. And I don't do chaos like I used to. I used to be able to do 500 things at one time. But nowadays, I have to be more structured. I have to have structure. And I don't know if that's the Lord telling me, hey, you need to line things up a little better. Remember, put me first, everything else comes next. Or if it's just I've got to this stage in my life where I desire structure over chaos. There was a time when running and not knowing what I was doing in the next moment was fun. And I guess with age I've learned, nah, it's a headache and it's stressful. And I don't do a lot of stress anymore. The body has had its fill of that as well. There's days, like I watched my video from the other night where I had a headache. And when I have a headache, I don't think as clearly. And it seems lately I have a few more of those. And this morning I woke up, I still had a headache. Had one periodically on and off all day, and it seems to be the basics of my day. Having headaches are starting to be a daily thing. And I'm like, okay, Lord, what do you want to teach me in this? Because headaches aren't new things to me. I've had migraines for years. But in recent years, they've taken a turn. And this morning, in feeling my age a little more, it reminds me that God has designed our bodies strategically. I don't think there's any one reason why things happen the way they happen. I think God has a plan in our life, and He has a direction for our life, and sometimes we are too busy with ourselves to read it and to see it and to understand it, that things because of our actions, I've always been taught an action always has a reaction. There's always going to be a consequence to everything, whether it's good or bad. If you do something bad, there's a consequence. You're going to be in trouble. If you do something good, there's still a consequence. You may just get a reward instead of a punishment. But there is a reaction to every action. Sometimes I think the things that our bodies go through when we get older in life, we start paying for some of the things we did when we were younger. We were talking today just about how things we used to do when we were younger, we don't quite do those things anymore. And I was sitting there thinking as I was listening to my colleagues talk about things they used to do that they've gotten wiser about not doing because, back when they were younger, lifting 50 pounds wasn't nothing. Now it's like, are you kidding me? We learn to adapt to our physical things. Like the headaches I have. I've learned to adapt to them. I've been to doctors. They don't have a reason for them. I've been told to lower my stress. So I do. Although adding these videos has added just a little bit because I'm still nervous about these things. But I also think God designed our bodies to warn us when we're doing things wrong. My daughter has a pulled muscle in her back. She didn't really do anything. She just probably moved wrong because she wasn't really lifting anything. But it might have been just her body's way of saying, hey, you know what? You need to do this a little different. You needed to work this way. I see that with my headaches. I feel like I need to change a few little things. Tweak it. Because I think if we listen to our bodies will tell us what we need. Yeah, my husband and I said, we need to change our diet. Because I know I did feel a whole lot better when we had a different diet than we have right now. But if I found myself this morning thinking about being stiff and sore and how I don't bounce back as well as I used to, and I'm thinking, God, did you really design our human bodies to be so wise? Yet we so many times forget to go, God, what are you teaching me? Or, okay, body, you're hurting me in this way. There's pain here. Maybe I shouldn't do what I'm doing. Let me recalculate and refigure what I'm doing. I find that sometimes I have to sometimes just stop and say, okay, body, what am I doing wrong? Because you're hurting me in this, my back's hurting, my head's hurting, my whatever hurting. What did I do to make you hurt? And then try to adjust it. Our spiritual bodies are the same way. When we fail to give God His time and pray and read His Word, our spiritual body feels the pain. And when it does, it starts to hurt. And sometimes that will filter into our lives, our physical body. So if things aren't going exactly the way you think they should, or maybe you're feeling the pains of doing things, maybe we should renegotiate what we're doing and how we're doing. And ask ourselves, God, what am I doing wrong? Or Lord, what do I need to do in a different way? And then change. Because sometimes change is good. I believe in you. God bless.